Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Solar Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order, where today I'm gonna relax and do some interludes because, good gracious, I've been slaving over code for the past, 5 hours. I'll get into it a little bit more as the stream goes, but for now, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, same name, same games, there's plenty of stuff for you all to enjoy, etc, etc, etc. I don't know what that was all about, but it's fine. But, yeah. So, essentially, I'm a little bit late because I needed to finish up the last minutia of what I was doing as far as coding before I lost my place. A bunch of limited time missions, just a bunch of teapots and some quartz here. And leaves. Yeah. But yeah, so sorry for being a little bit late for those watching this on Twitch, but I needed to finish up what I was doing, otherwise I would lose my place, and that would have been not good for my mental stability, to say the least. But I finished it, and I am happy that I finished it. What I just claimed that skin? Oh, lord. But, yeah, does mean that this is pretty much going to be an FGO only stream today. Oh, inventory full. I keep forgetting to clear this out. I've been meaning to do it for these past couple days. I'm just such a lazy bones. Go away, all silver stuff. I don't need you right now. Hey, Janice. Welcome to the stream. How be things? Just, explaining my tardiness for not starting the stream on time today. Just a lot of coding headaches were to be had, but that portion's done. I just need to write a frickin' essay now, so yay! An essay! Who knew that making your website accessible would be so stress-inducing? I don't think there's any real particular bit of news. We do, I believe, have, I'm at a loss for words. We do have a Chaldea broadcasting station thing tonight, I want to say. It says early June. Yeah, 25th, 9. Yep, so that's tonight. Chaldea Broadcasting Station likely going to be announcing Mystic Eye Symphony for tomorrow. So it's going to be a double whammy of FGO streams. So I'll probably be streaming FGO again tomorrow, so I'm not as upset about the fact that this is going to be a bit of a shorter stream. Yay! I didn't want skills, I wanted to servants, because I've got some golden foes. But how be things, Janice? How be things? My brain is fried. Who was I working on? I have both lambdas. I have both shelters. Comma. It was a comma I was working on. Why is comma not so high up? No, it's party stuff? I'm pretty sure some commas are in parties. No. I'm gonna be honest, I've not looked at my command codes at all. Where's comma? Okay, there's oh, summer comma. It's summer comma I was working on. That's right. Summer comma, so she's gonna be a little lower down. Brain, relax. We're done with the headache of coding. We can relax a little bit. And I might be blind. Where is Summer Comma? She's there. Okay, I don't know who I was working on. Who was I gold foeing? I, honest to goodness, cannot remember who I was gold foeing. Achon? Perhaps? the welfare Achan was I perhaps working on? Or was it Ortland? No, it wasn't Ortland. Achan. Yes, it was Achan. I got it in the end. Might only be 2 foes, but I need, I can what? What do you mean by tag? I honest to goodness have no idea what you mean by you can tag selected servants. Or what the filter system is. Honest to God, no clue what you're talking about. Hold down on a servant and press select on the side of them. Let's do Gil as an example. And that tags them for something? Then when done, press all and scroll all the way down. I don't think that's what you meant. Nor do I think that. Filter. There's a lot of filters here, to be honest. Press selected. And then okay. Selected. Where's selected? Oh, there. Okay. Okay, situationally, I can see that being useful. I can situationally see that being useful. Also, before I even do any interludes, I'm leveling somebody up. So, do I have foes in my inventory? I do not. Nito Burrito is at the top of the line. Nito Burrito shall be leveled up. Let me take some foes out, though, of here. Oh, I don't have 3 stars, not showing. Duh. Alright, foe power. So, those 20. Okay. Those 20. Okay. Again, I have no idea where I went wrong, why I have 3 sets of these foes, and I'm missing another set of foes. I have no idea why, but it is what it is. I might honestly burn some of those extra foes, just so I don't get confused any more than I already am. Servants. So, Nito Burrito, altar. Altar! Altar. It's time to get leveled up. She deserves it, though. Nito Burrito Altar definitely deserves this. Whee! But yeah. You selected all your Grailden foes so you can access them easier. That makes sense. Munch Munch. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, Nito Burrito. Actually, that's kind of morbid now that I'm saying that aloud. Don't go Munch Munch on foes. Foe is not a snack to be consumed. Why is Nito Burrito eating foe? Oh no, what have I done? True, Nito is still a cutie. Even as an altar. Although, honestly, cute personality, but I kind of prefer the appearance of Nito Burrito Altar to base Nito Burrito. There's just something about the white hair. Something about white hair that gets me. White or shades of purple, thinking about it out loud. I'm kind of a sucker for those two demographics, I guess is the best way to put it. White hair or shades of purple. I guess shades of white, technically. I mean, Achan isn't necessarily a pure white hair servant, but it's a shade of white. Third Ascension Coolest. I look forward to it. She's becoming more corporeal. Origin has finally gotten accustomed to this place. Well, you see, my divine aura has been leaking from my spirit origin. And anywhere you see shining is actually breaking down. What's with that panicked look? Calm down. Steady now. God of the Underworld's Judgment A. For an NP gauge for yourself, good trait, buff success rate when receiving a buff to all allies, evil trait, and buff success rate down to all enemies. So she makes our enemies evil! I will say though, I kind of prefer the long hair. Long hair is definitely preferred, though I'm glad she's no longer breaking down at a spiritual level. So that's a good thing. But definitely should have kept the longer hair. Just doesn't look right on Nito, to be honest, the short hair. Alright, Ascension. My spirit origin is getting even more assimilated. It's a good thing. Great synergy with Ruler Moriarty since he deals extra damage to evil! So the powers of good and evil uniting to a greater common cause? Since Ruler Moriarty is evil! Although he would be good with Nito's skill, so I guess that makes sense. So Nito turns her allies good and her enemies evil. Very interesting. I feel like that is the kind of skill that lore-wise would cause a lot of problems in a Holy Grail war. If your servant just made a good-natured enemy heroic spirit properly evil, that would cause so much problems. Like, can you imagine... Okay, I was gonna say imagine an evil Seba, but we have Salter for that. Can't say Ku, because we have Ku Alter, and then there is always Berserker Ku. Ooh. Good work. I'm Anubis. Or rather, Anubis occupies a good percentage of this spirit origin. Thus, I may be Nitocris, but I am mostly Anubis. That is how matters stand. Be careful on many levels. Desert Knight, Breeze A. Art's effectiveness for 3 turns for all allies, chance to evade, debuff immune, and death immune to all allies with a good trait. Okay. That's not bad at all. And that is a pretty darn sick-looking Ascension. Evil Voyager. Oh man. I think that would just result in Aris murking us. Aris would not stand for an Evil Voyager. It does make me think, though, of... There must be some other servant that can change alignment of servants in your party to evil. Because I remember years ago seeing some comic that, like, turned... It was like a skill was used that turned Mash and Seba evil, and it just, like, took the Ahogi off of Seba's head and turned her to Salter. But with Mash, it was like she was panicking for a bit before eventually taking some trash out of a trash can and littering. As if that was the most evil thing the artist could imagine Mash doing. Because she'd be so bad at being evil. It was adorable. I just can't remember who that servant was. Get the heart. Yep, I do have vague memories of that. I feel like it was brought up in Yu-Gi-Oh! as a child. I feel like something like that was brought up in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's where a lot of my ancient Egyptian mythology knowledge comes from, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably not the most accurate source, to be fair, but it did stir the interest, if nothing else. Ooh. I'll not say you're disrespectful. On the contrary, I commend you. You did well in raising this spirit origin. What? You can raise me even further? Okay. You're willing to do that. I see. That is a commanding Final Ascension artwork. Like, that speaks authority on so many levels. Okay, I gotta say, Final Ascension, definitely best. Again, well, she does have longer hair. It's sort of done in tails now. But I think Final Ascension, Best Ascension, confirmed. Freaking fly net buzzing around. Got it. It's that season where you get all those little pests buzzing. Come on. Alright, we should definitely be able to finish leveling up Nito Burrito. Level 90, Nito Burrito. Woo! And we'll scale her up to a 666. The lighting really helps me. I mean, I'd say more than just the lighting, just the pose right in front of... Looks like she very much has that, like, powerful CEO sitting behind a desk look. Or powerful authority figure sitting behind, sitting upon a throne look. Just zoomed in. Nito Burrito Alter. Let's hope that we can get the skill to 666. Please and thank you. So far, so good. One more. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun. We got it. Alright. So, with Nito Burrito done, that's not going to be too bad at least, we will then get to doing some interludes. Sadly, Nito Burrito does not have any interludes, so she's not going to be on the queue, but I don't even know who's going to be on the queue, to be fair. I don't know who is actually next contestant, because I'm going to do 2 interludes. And only 2 unless one of the servants whose interludes I do unlocks another interlude of theirs, in which case I'll probably do it. But, yeah. No Night Rain tonight because I do have that essay to write. It's still alive. How did you live? I smushed and scraped you along my desk, fly. I hate flies. Alright. Nito Burrito is done. And now it's interlude time. Woo! The gate. The interlude. It's an essay that I need to write about my specific website's accessibility. Because I haven't really put anything in the Discord for the past couple weeks, because it's not really been too much changes, but this most recent week was learning all about website accessibility, and the assignment was put your website through a website accessibility checker, then change everything that it marks as wrong. And being a novice when it comes to developing websites, it tells you a lot's wrong. A lot. And it tells you what exactly is wrong, but it doesn't tell you how to fix what is wrong. So, That was fun. Not. Okay, focus. Skadi, beyond the century of endless flame and ice. Form your party immediately before the battle begins. Also, Skadi and Asclepius. Yeah. There is one thing that I'm not going to correct, though. It's saying that I have a redundant link. Because I was clever and I decided to make my website logo also link to the home page. So it makes every other link to the home page of the website redundant. Like, so what if I have multiple links? The logo being a home page link is not visible for the most part. At times, I find myself pondering. Swirling flames, imminent death. The end of time itself, an inevitable doom. As humans burned out and giants collapsed. As elementals dissolved like foam, and the gods themselves faded away. Why? Why was I left behind? In this burned out husk of a world with no hope of salvation. Why did I remain? I don't know, because you're the most competent? I honestly don't know much about Skadi's historical, mythological lore to say otherwise. And why? Thrud, Hilda, and Ortlind, my dear children, my Valkyries, the original sisters. Neither brilliant in Haryar souls, nor your halls of Valhalla remain. My children who called me mother. My lovely children, the giants who continued to wander. Einherjar. Yeah, that's the one. That's a weird pronunciation one. I can pronounce it properly occasionally just because of God of War Ragnarok, but it's hit or miss for me at times. I just see it differently. I don't know why. My brain doesn't parse what I'm reading sometimes. There were no gods to confront, no Heim left to return to. The warriors who wore my masks, which seized their pride and battles. Gerda! Random other kids that I don't remember. Ah, my beloved children, humans. Oh man. This is sad. Now I'm remembering Hop. I can never hop again. Just like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star has been ruined for me, so has the concept of hopping. Despite my love, and no matter how desperately I wished, I could not grant you life eternal. Still, I could not give you up, my children. Hugin and Munin. Odin. As the god of death and war, travel and navigation. As the god of poetry and knowledge, sorcery and seduction. You who hung for 9 nights, the god of power and wisdom, the embodiment of storms, victory, and spears. Why? Why did you leave me alone in the Norse lands? Why did you abandon my beloved children? Tell me, Odin. You who gave an eye in exchange for sight of all things in this world, and the wisdom to understand them. Why did you? Well, the meta answer is it's because it was a lost belt, but also pan-human history Odin kind of inhabited Ku Caster, and if I'm understanding correctly, was back in the times of Asik Morgan as a faithful companion, but then also, just lent his power to cast Ku, which may or may not have happened in the Fuyuki singularity. That's kind of ambiguous. Yeah. Mr. Soul, are you alright? Holmes! Daydreaming. That's all it is, Holmes. You were only daydreaming for about 2 seconds of real time, but let's go ahead and call this meeting for now. While it is different from your REM state, it is best we be cautious. Let's resume our discussion of tactics and strategy later, yes? Keep going, Holmes. Are you sure? Very well, if you insist. However, as far as I'm concerned... Oh. Skadi? Skadi! Part of my interruption. Skadi! Water being boiled. Need to wait more. Patience is a virtue. Hello, my fair. Unterdis? That's my guess of that pronunciation. Because I'm pretty sure an O with the 2 dots is like a different pronunciation. I want to say it's like an U pronunciation, so Unterdis? That's my guess. I'm actually gonna look. See if I'm correct. That's just another word for Skadi. It is an U. Yay, I was right! But I'm gonna still look. No, not Honduras pronunciation. Underdis. I can't find a proper pronunciation thing like that will speak it out loud. So I'm just going with my pronunciation. If anybody in charge of one of those official pronunciation text-to-speech things out there online sees this, you can use my pronunciation. It's like 20% chance I pronounced it properly. Just given my previous track record of mispronunciations. You've not changed, sage of proper human history. The fact that you are wise and kind, yet only half aware, truly separates you from Baldur, the god of light. I am humbled by your kind words. Oh no, there was no kindness in my words. I actually have business with you, soul. Did you see me in your dream? Skadi, that's a very personal question. You don't ask people if they've had any dreams about you. I did see Ortland, though. And it occurs to me that Skadi is potentially considered Ortland's mother figure. And is one of the few in the waifu categories that has a mother figure that we can actively ask for permission. Because Achan is ambiguous. Jalter does not have a mother, sadly. She has a big sister, and I'm sure Jean would be thrilled. Melt would not care if we get BB's permission or not. Mash has Da Vinci, but Da Vinci canonically like Caster Da Vinci, and I don't have Caster Da Vinci, so there is that. Kama, I actually don't know. I don't know, like, mythologically standing, who Kama's parental figures are. Like, from a mythological standpoint, who is... Kamadeva. Kamadeva... Brahma. So we have Brahma as the father, no mother, so it looks like a direct creation? So we don't have any parental figures for Kama. So yeah, Ortland is one of the few waifu candidates that actually has a paternal or maternal figure that we can ask for permission. Okay. Noted. So, make note, if Ortland moves up in the waifu rankings, Skadi needs to give permission. Ah, it's one of the 3 creator gods of Hinduism. Gotcha. I see. This dream is the product of a mental connection between a master and their contracted heroic spirit. A temporary sharing of memories and records. It's quite interesting to observe that it can happen even when master's just daydreaming. Silence, Sage. Your penchant for butting in and spelling out every little detail to unravel each facet of an enigma is most unwelcome. Bear in mind that any mystic treated in this way has its eventual death hastened. You should be more cautious. Apologies. Anyway, Soul, if you already saw this in your dreams, I needn't tell you what I desire. You want to talk to him. Who is him? I do not think there is an Odin here to speak with. Well, yes, I suppose so. If you already know, I won't bother playing dumb. Yes, I have questions. Questions for him. I'm trying to remember what Benkei is ranked at, so give me a minute on that one, Janice. By questions, you mean... Sage? Sorry. I never intended to torment myself over such a thing, but now that it's been made known through my contractor's dreams, well, This is the opportune moment. I must seize the chance now that it has come. Next to Romulus and Hector, so very low down. It is time I worked up the courage to settle this. Can I count on your help, Soul? You will lend your wisdom as well, Sage. I'll help you in any way I can, all to get the eventual approval of a possible mom to a possible waifu. Yeah. So, I need everyone's help here. Who's everyone? Valkyries? Nope, the Coos! Sounds like a drag, but what do you think, me? Wow. Proto-Coup is being involved in this? Le gasp. We don't see Proto-Coup all that much. Well, I guess this is an opportunity to clean up one of my own messes. I'm not against being a part of this. I hate owing someone a favor anyway. Yeah, I agree. Master's tagging along, too. Man, seeing them right next to each other, it really does show the contrast, or lack thereof, between the two of them. Like, they both look to have similar angled features. Maybe Base Ku's features are a little sharper. Eyes are spread out a little bit more, but that could just be the pose. His eyes are actually a little bit more narrow. So what do you think, other me? This is stupid. Do whatever the hell you want. Not exactly a shocking response. Well, let's do this then. A ragtag bunch it may be, but let's get this Celtic Scandinavian allied force up and going. Also, I guess Base Ku has thicker eyebrows. Just from the face. So could you help us out? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Maeve! All the Kus are drawn by 4 different people. Don't you mean 5 different people? Because there's 5 different versions of Ku. Wait, no, 4. Never mind. I'm dumb. Yeah. No, wait. Am I dumb? No, I'm not dumb. There are 5 different Kus. I had a brain fart there, but I am not dumb. There are 5 different Kulans. Hold it right there. Let me get this straight. You had a dream about the Skadi side of Skaha, and you're telling me she's finally making her move on my Ku. Sure! I don't get it. I gave her every opportunity in the past, yet she never tried to cozy up to any of my Kus. which has made me wondering all this time how Ska could be such a prude. Yeah, I think, historically, mythologically speaking, that is very far from the truth. It was super weird to me, but now I get it. She's just a late bloomer. She must be finally mustering up the courage. Obviously, I have to see how this all unfolds for myself. Besides, this involves my coup. What do you think? I'd find it reassuring if you watched from the shadows. Well, I suppose I have no choice. If you're that set on this, I'll do it. This is a one-time deal, though. Thank you, Maeve. I'm grateful. I just said it was a one-time thing. I mean, is it really that surprising that Maeve has these kinds of tendencies? She's fine with a one-time thing. Skadi is her bestie, though, so... Skadi is her bestie. Heading out once we're ready. So here's us, a bunch of dirty male heroic spirits skulking around a simulation of a forest in the dead at night. What the hell's going on? Scheme or no scheme, this is kinda creepy. Don't say that. Kukulon never turned tail and run just because he smells a trap, yeah? Damn right. Anyway, it's that cave ahead. There's a weird rune engraved inside it, even though neither Master nor Miss Mash set it up. Of course, we all know a thing or two about runes, which is why I went to see. But I got no clue what it is. This is where you come in, Caster Me. After Fairy Britain, the cat's out of the bag as far as your connection to with the Allfather goes. So make with the deciphering, yeah? This might be the work of Doman or Moriarty. Deciphering, huh? So this is after Fairy Britain. Good to know. I don't see anything special. Where's the rune? A little up ahead. Aren't you supposed to be the smart one? Be patient. Yeah, it should be just a little further up. That does it. Cut the act. They do call me a sage for whatever it's worth. Come on, spill it already. What do you want from me? The only thing up ahead's a dead end. Trying to corner me like I'm your prey or something? Uh-oh. Guess you figured it out, huh? Strike a nerve, did we? Not really. I'm sure you have your reasons. Not that I much care. I did call out 5 coups, and then I questioned myself and retreated to 4 before I reaffirmed myself with 5. It's a normal coup, proto coup, coup alter, cast coup, and Satanta. So Takeuchi was base coup for base FSN cast. Nakahara is Fate prototype cast. Coup alter is Sanson and Asteria's artist, Shima Doriru. And Cascu is Mata, who also drew Bartolomeo, and Kojiro. It's weird that Kojiro was not drawn by Takeuchi. That's weird. You'd think he was. I can take you both. I'm ready to hang myself if I have to. You'll make nice charcoal if I burn you just right. Not sure how they manage that with my lance through your heart. Hey there now. Is this an insta-death contest? This may be rich coming from me, but you two are savage. Enough. It's unfortunate that the rune I spent so much time carving went to waste. Skadi. But well done all the same, warriors. And we finally meet Kukulane. Which Kukulane are you talking to? Okay, I guess it's me. You, Casta. So Master's here too. I can hang myself. You know, that'd be quite the superpower. I feel like that is... I've not watched ReZero lately, though I know recently there is some character that anything done to them is done to those around them as well, and I could feel that is like a legitimate threat from them. I can hang myself if I have to, just to deal with everybody else. So what does the Norse princess want from me? Do I owe her some QP? Can't say I remember anything like that. So, can I go home? No, I would have you stay a while longer. You and I must speak. Sheesh, you're sounding kinda hostile here. I didn't expect her to be so intense. Oda must have done a real number on her. Why do you seek to avoid me? Well, we have nothing to discuss, really. I don't think I can give you what you want, princess. I am no princess. Shake's finally starting to melt. You and I will speak as gods, here and now. And I will not accept no for an answer. It's pretty easy to just say no. And yet I will not allow you to do so. The marital discourse talk. I don't believe Skadi had any marital or extramarital relationships with Odin. I don't think so, at least. I've already said as much. No, still too frozen. I'm not so arrogant as to claim this is a divine decree. Maeve and I have laid a few spells and other tricks for you here. Don't really see her second ascension all that much. I can at least force your compliance if I must. Sounds like you're really going for it. I don't know what what you got up your sleeve, but Maeve's magecraft is probably borrowed. Though who am I to say about others? Golems! Summoning magecraft? Alright now. Time to thrash the unreasonable princess and kid and leave this place. While I'm at it, I'll punish the two spear-wielding dopes over here too. Freaking try. Okay. I'm pretty sure both of my coups are already pretty strong and leveled. So I'm just gonna take Cass, put her in the. I wanna Cass or Skadi. Now let's do Cass. I'm gonna Cass with, there we go, Bond CE. My Skadi with Sumo, and then double coup Power Hour. Proto coup. He's probably Bond 5 if I had to guess. There he is. And you know what? You'll get that. And Skadi can get her Bond CE. Yeah, that makes sense. And the back line, we'll do Melt and Kama. Let's do Vendor Kama, because Assassin Kama's kind of up there as far as the bonding goes. She's Bond 7, and I kind of want to get those two equalized. No teapots. Let's roll. You shouldn't drink so much coffee, Janice. It'll stunt your growth. Support Magecraft may not look it, but I'm still a sage. So I think everything that we just got buffed with and debuffed with got nullified. Cool. Focus down Cascu, I think is the best plan of attack. Mighty Chain. Still pretty thick, this shake is. Boop, bop, beep. One Q is ready to go. Get the defense down. And a brave shit. Wish it was a brave mighty, but oh well. Still pretty potent. And we got it from here. The rest of this fight is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Unless there's more golems, because I wasn't paying attention to how many enemies there were. Oh joy. This one. You must have missed me saying, you shouldn't be drinking so much coffee, you're going to stunt your growth. Don't you want to grow tall? Malaysian. Oop, that's still too much. I know coffee drinks, or I know coffee smells amazing, but you have to resist the urge to drink it. Any amount of coffee will be enough to stunt your growth. And I don't know if, people say that once you hit a certain age, like 16, you stop growing, but I don't know if I believe them. I'm pretty sure people can continue to grow even past age 16. That's why I don't drink coffee, because I believe that one day I will continue to grow taller because of my lack of coffee. And this milkshake is thick. Where can you get it? Very thick. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And I have a little brain freeze. I sucked that down a bit too fast. Okay. Calm. It's better. Yeah, it's better. But yeah, you don't see Second Ascension Skadi too much. She even has a boob window. Not bad. But I don't think this is over. It's time for round 2. Excuse me. Dragon? Spriggans! Oh, frick Spriggans. I don't usually bother because it's not efficient, but hey, it's a special kind of day. Honestly, I sure as hell can't hang myself in front of the princess. These guys are a lot sturdier. Our round won't go like the last one, princess. Kid. I'll simply crush whatever comes our way. Prepare yourselves, nitwits. Take that back. And where the hell you even learn that kind of talk? Shut up. Maeve taught me. Now, come on. No. I don't bother with the advanced quests. The advanced quests, I feel, they are just not worth it. Like, I can get CEs that very slightly boost the chance of me farming a specific old resource that I have hundreds of. Woo! Ugh, frickin' Spriggans. I need to try and go on the offensive with a Spriggan. Offense, coup. Instant death, please. Unless I run out of them. I mean, that's what events are for, though. Like, most of my materials nowadays do just come straight from events, so. Greetings, Infinity TYLRD. I'm not sure what the TYLRD stands for, or what the Infinity. I don't know what the LRD stands for, though, but Infinity Lord! Infinity Lord, I got it. Welcome, Infinity Lord. Welcome to the stream. Caught me at a good time. I'm still in the midst of doing some interludes. But, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna ask, because you're in a Fate stream, who is your favorite servant in FGO? Something I try to ask from anybody who comes into a Fate stream, at least. Boop. Stop. Also, it's gonna be... I might just call you Lord, because I do have another viewer who's a mod who goes by it, whose name is Infinity. So I might just end up calling you Lord if you become a consistent member of Stream Chat. Gotta respect the mods, after all. I don't know if mods can time out the stream. Though, if they can, I would definitely believe that they would, do so. Because, you know, they troll me, and they like to troll me. Stop. Right now I've been trying to get a trophy in Red Dead Redemption 2. Not played any of the Red Dead Redemption games myself. Just, it's never really appealed. I don't really play games where you are like a shooter or anything like that. I don't like any shooter games. I know that the Red Dead series is more of adventure, I'd say, but or RPG-esque, but it's still like the Western aesthetic. It just doesn't appeal. Hey, J6, welcome to the stream. Howdy things. Your favorite is Talalak because you have her at NP5 and she's always been in my summons whenever she has a banner somehow. Nice. I mean, Talalak is pretty solid. Talalak is pretty solid, you know? And, if memory serves, she has quite the Valentine's scene where she essentially is inviting you into her deepest chamber. She gives you the key to her deepest chamber, which, you know, has all sorts of implications. But overall, Talalak is a pretty good servant. You don't know why, but you feel tired. Oof. I mean, I'm a little mentally kooky from staring at code trying to correct it for 5 hours straight, but, you know, that's just me. Thank you, Infinity Lord, for the follow. It is appreciated. I lost. Not bad, princess. Kid, you beat me, fair and square. I suppose I'd better accept defeat then. Fine. What do you want to talk about? Now she's getting cold feet. That's our cue to leave. Sure, why not? I probably don't know I don't exactly know what the trophy would stand for, but I'm always happy to hear. Always happy to hear those kinds of things. If you struggle to fight an area, you can always try the inanimate object method. See, the thing is, J6 is, so this week's assignment was to put your websites that you've made through a accessibility checker, and then correct all accessibility errors associated that it finds. And, you know, this is the first time I've ever coded a website or anything like it. And it tells you what exactly is wrong, but it doesn't tell you how to fix it. So it was a matter of seeing what is wrong on this specific page, going to my code, trying to fix that specific page of code, and then going re-uploading that page to the server, and then going back to the website authenticator to refresh it to see if I fixed it, error, if I didn't fix the error, or if for some unknown reason I made the error worse. And that happened so many times. So many times I tried to fix one part of the accessibility, and it just completely broke things. It was like, ugh. It's the art trophy, a 0.4% attainment. Ooh, that is not high attainment. I'm gonna look it up. RDR2. So 19 perfect animal carcass deliveries. Nope, I'm good, J6. Like I said, I got that figured out. But now I have to write an essay about my whole experience and a bunch of other stuff like that. I don't honestly know what the essay needs to be about. I just know I need to write an essay. I thought, because it's like the rubric was laid out in go through your HTML document and fill in any of the placeholder text. And then in the CSS document, change any pixel or point or any point things or that kind of stuff to EMs or percentage stuff. And then it was the website authenticator thing, and it was just like, just start yapping in the essay. It has to be a proper APA formatted essay, and honestly, essays are not too bad for me to do. But it's just the fact that I don't even know what I'm supposed to be writing about. Sounds like a minor issue. I mean, again, first website, and there was so many issues. Well, yes, the HTML and CSS part were the easy parts. Those were definitely the easy parts, but it was trying to then put it into a website checker, because it needed to be an official one, an accessibility checker, seeing what was wrong, and then going through to make sure to find what was wrong, try and fix what was wrong, and re-upload it to the server, refresh the page, and see if I fixed it, made it worse, or nothing happened. Yeah, it needed to be, like, they gave us a list of them. I think Wave was the name of it, or something like that. Only need 2 more perfect animals, because you already got many of the perfect in part 4 and 5, while hunting for the robin and opossum. 6 to 7 hours for a perfect robin. Good gracious, you're like playing one of those old-fashioned, hunting games. Gosh, I don't even know if those are those kind of games even made anymore? Man, I honestly can't remember the last time I heard of a hunting or a fishing game being released. Are those sorts of things even released anymore? There's a reward on anniversary based on how many you complete. Ugh, lovely. So I guess I gotta add that to my routine. Color contrast. There was one instance of color contrast. Only one. Surprisingly, only one issue with color contrast for all my stuff. Thank goodness for that. If I had to change my color themes, that would have driven me bonkers. You're in charge now. If talk is what you want, get talking. Right, so what are you gonna do, Master? What do you want me to do, Skadi? Stay. Okay, I'm staying. Well, see you later. Man, I think Kualter would have enjoyed this, because he would have gotten to fight. There they go. So, what do you want to talk about? Anybody home? We did determine that there are 5 different coups with 5 different artists, J6. We did determine that. Is the princess asleep? Give her a minute. Okay. With pursed lips, she hung her head low. Silence reigned for a moment before she lifted her head and opened her mouth to speak. Your estimate for how long this would take is 30 hours. You're going to be right or close to it. I would wish you luck, Infinity Lord. However, my, wishes for good luck tend to spell the opposite and make things be bad luck, so I hope you forgive me for not wishing you good luck on your hunt. Her hesitation in that moment was plain for all present to see. The silence stretched out for several minutes. Oh, right. Right, there is something I wish to say to you. Something, rather, that I must ask you. Okay, this is kind of funny, though. Weren't you the one avoiding me in the beginning? Or am I remembering it wrong? You're trying to get all achievements in Devil May Cry 5. Is that a hard task, J6? Honestly, as far as achievement hunting goes, I cannot think of a proper name. I cannot think of a proper game that I have gotten a platinum trophy on, or 100% achievements. Except I think maybe the Binding of Isaac. I think the only thing I'm missing from the Binding of Isaac is the recently added online mode stuff. And even then, I don't have the true infinity percent, because I've only got one save file that is pretty much completed. But true perfect infinity percent, that just sounds like a drag to pull off. I'll be fine with a dead god file. You need to beat the game in every difficulty, needing to reach an S rating. Oof. Only game you gotta truly 100% is Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher. Never played it, but I've seen it played, and it looks fun. That's not true. Is that so? Yes. Or maybe that might be true. You may have been avoiding me, but I, too, may have been avoiding you. Because what could I tell you at this point? You who left me. You who left everything to me. You who didn't save me. You who never once greeted me. Even after I became a shadowy figure from the Lost Belt, recorded in humanity's history, and manifested in this world. The great hero, the child of light, Cuchulainn of Ulster. No. Odin, the All-Father. ... Sorry, but you got the wrong guy. Most of that All-Father aspect is gone thanks to my resummoning. You should know that, Master. It just so happened that this pain-in-the-ass job of saving humanity was passed on to... I mean, forced onto me. I'm not the guy you're looking for. Well, for a start, Odin the All-Father from the Lost Belt and Odin from proper human history are technically the same, but not the same. Their origin may be the same, but they ultimately follow different paths. They are each versions of what might have been, so I don't think it's fair to treat them as the same You speak nonsense! You hung yourself on the tree. You learned what was beyond death after 9 nights. At the price of one of your eyes, you came to know the truth of all things and devised the primordial rune. You can't possibly not know how to use it. You know, to be fair, it is kind of implied. No, it is outright stated that Odin knew about the Lost Belts. I think because of timey-wimey shenanigans, very technically speaking, LB6, because it was a lost world that diverged way back when, was running in parallel with pan-human history. And if memory serves, Cast Ku was, after Fuyuki was finished, sent to LB6 in the past, in the time of Asik, but it was Odin in control, and then somehow stuck around until present day. I don't really know how that works, except for timey-wimey shenanigans, but it does imply that, at the very least, LB6 has been existent for a longer period of time, and that it probably did not need to be destroyed. ASIC is pronounced Ash. That's weird. Also, there's the mythology story about how Odin's throne is a magical artifact that allowed him to have clairvoyance and see everything in all 9 worlds. I have vague remembrances of that based on God of War 2, or God of War Ragnarok stuff. How to use it. Yes. Morgan of Fairy Britain and Odysseus of Mediterranean are said to have gained the same records from proper human history. I don't believe you when you say you cannot do what they could do. Well, no. Okay, the circumstances are completely different. Morgan and Odysseus are said to have taken the information from their counterparts. The Odin from proper human history doesn't have a counterpart to take from. The same goes for the Lost-Spelt one. They're higher beings, divine spirits. Then what about the King of Heroes? That ancient king is said to use his omniscient noble phantasm to see infinite worlds through their different selves. Hey! Wow, somebody's actually acknowledging Gil's skill. Can we get a wow for the fact that Gil's skill is actually being acknowledged? Just the fact that he doesn't if he doesn't like the results, he chooses to ignore it. Which is why he jobs so hard in FSN. He sees his defeat in all the routes, but is like, nah, it won't happen to me. Because he's so freaking arrogant. Aren't you able to do that as well? Odin synchronized his own records into his daughters, the Valkyries. Sorry, I took a drink of milkshake. That may be possible. If we were talking about Odin himself, that is. But we aren't. I'm not Odin. I keep telling you this, but I'm not him. Sorry. Keep finding a badger instead of a skunk. I mean, in most contexts, people would prefer to find a badger to a skunk. Because I cannot say any time I would prefer to find a skunk to a badger. Shut up. What was that? Shut up! Skadi. He was weakened by being incarnated through the Grail Mud. I think it was more weakened by the fact that he had to subsist his magical energy on the various orphan children in the church basement. I think that is what truly weakened him. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! You... Tears. Tears pooled in her eyes. Each was like a droplet of wintry ice. You are Odin. This cannot be denied. Why? Why? Why did you leave me? And only me? Why? Why did you let me live? And why did you leave me the Norse world? Tell me. Tell me why you didn't save me. Or my children. This is kind of heartbreaking. Especially because technically, it's complicated, but very technically, with Surtur's defeat in LB2, that world did have the potential to flourish again. But Skadi decided to stand against us from cutting down on the Tree of Emptiness because we wanted to reclaim our own world, when her world could then flourish because of the lack of Surtur. A little bit of guilt there. Only a poor quality one. I mean, you're still on point, though. You said you expected. You've been on this for quite a few hours, so you still got time before you hit your 30-hour mark. I tried so desperately to reach out within the miracle of the Tree of Emptiness, but ultimately, it was a false cycle of life, a false god. False envoys. Have we ever seen a short-haired blonde Valkyrie? I don't think we've actually ever seen a short-haired blonde Valkyrie be name-dropped. They spoke of love. I made my children sing love's praise, even as I killed them. I gave them no chance to resist or think for themselves. Millions of lives ended in that world. A world where Valhalla was a fraud, devoid of even of Helheim. Rinder, Thrud's counterpart with the orange short hair. Red hair, short blonde with red eyes makes you think of Arkoid. Yeah, she did. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the LB kings understood why. They just opposed. Just because they wanted to live as well. I may as well have been the god of death at that point. Now that I've gained the knowledge of proper human history, I can say this. For more than 3,000 years, I was the god who oversaw hell. That's... Okay, I'm really feeling... I'm feeling really bad for Skadi. I didn't know she had this much bottled up, man. Like, from a character standpoint, there's no indication that she has all this anguish bottled up inside of her. Even the likes of Thor and Loki would decry what I did, had they been there to see. Odin, Allfather, who holds all the world's wisdom. As the gods disappeared during Ragnarok, why didn't you kill me too? Skadi. Are you not going over there? No, it's fine. I'm just loaning out my coup for now. I'm already surrounded by coups anyway. Hey. Good grief. Besides, that coup's got some other stuff mixed in, diluting his coolness. Oh, Maeve. So that's how they convinced you, but we are not operating under the pretense that he has no other attributes in the mix, so to speak. I don't know what you're talking about. Maeve is doing her best to be solid. Did we ever actually get to know what happened to the whole Norse pantheon? I honestly don't recall. I keep telling you, you've got the wrong guy. The Odin who helped me and the Allfather you know from the Lost Belt are entirely different beings. So I'm not going to say anything. That's the vow I made. But I never meant to make a woman cry. So I'll say this one thing. I'm not under a geas about this, so it should be fine to say. Odin's meddling and paranoia are boundless. Yeah, Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok definitely captured that. If you put it that way, there's no real difference between the Odin of proper human history and the Odin of the Lost Belt. Ku did a lot of things in his myths. Ku did a lot of questionable things in his myths, including, I'm pretty sure, having a kid with Skaha or with Skaha's daughter. I can't remember which. It might have been both. As a man who interacted with Odin, even if it was just once, I can say that the answer is really simple. It pains me to say this as a fellow male, but this problem really just stems from Odin's male sense of chivalry. Chivalry. Yeah, that's right. Alright, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna tell you. If the Allfather comes to gripe at me later about this, to hell with him. It's better than watching the princess cry a river. I'm only gonna say this once, so listen carefully. Basically, Odin, the bastard, fell for you. Huh? Oh, no. What did you just say? I told you I'd say it only once. What? He loved you. Apparently, very messed up way of... Okay, I mean, wanting to live, fair, but if he is all-knowing, he should have known what would have happened afterwards. He would have known how much suffering poor Skadi had to experience. That can't be. That's just... selfish, yeah? Yep, pretty self-serving. Cruel, even. I might have mentioned this earlier, but he probably peeked into other worlds. He's got that annoying ability to see everything. The proper human history Odin would probably be able to look into the Lost Belt. And vice versa, so I expect the Lost Belt Odin probably saw something. Might be a glimpse of what was going to happen to proper human history 3,000 years later, in the far corner of the planet that was bleached white. Let's say he might have seen you with a childlike expression as you enjoyed a frozen treat. Hang on. So, Lost Belt Odin, 3,000 years ago, Lost Belt time, glimpsed to another world, into the future, into our Chaldea, when we have already summoned Skadi, saw Skadi enjoying ice cream, and fell in love. That's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of creepy. Basing your whole purpose for letting someone live just because you saw something that would happen thousands of years in the future, you have no idea what choices led to that point. You have no idea what that person is suffering through. Why are we nodding along with this? Are we just like, okay, sure, why not? That can't be. That's such an absurd reason to... Oh, my beloved children. The days we spent. Yeah. A frozen treat, you say? Yeah. You're saying that he saw me eat a frozen treat here? Yeah. Oh, if that is true, then Odin's a fool. He's the very height of stupidity. Truly, he is a fool. Wiser than anyone in the world and still a fool. The biggest fool I've ever known. A fool beyond any hope of salvation. Skadi. I'm far past being enthralled by a god's affections like some innocent maiden. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, I said what I needed to say. Satisfied? Yes. It's not the worst thing he's done. According to Miss, Skadi's part giant as compensation for killing her dad. The gods let her marry someone of her choosing, which they did by hiding the face of all the gods, made her only be allowed to be examined their feet. She chose the prettiest looking one, thinking it was Balder, but turned out Njord, the fishing god, who she later split up with and married Odin. So mythologically, Skadi marries Odin. I will say, though, that is such a terrible way to determine a partner. For many reasons. Like, so many reasons. Right, you're right. His love means nothing after all this time. From here on, I will deny myself any frozen treats as penance for my children. I mustn't allow the Allfather's whims to affect me. That's probably the wrong response. Does love really have to have meaning? You should keep on smiling. I want you to smile too. You... really? Yeah, I know Balder dies to Loki's schemes, but he comes back at the end of Ragnarok. Balder does return after Ragnarok ends. As she spoke, she once again bowed her head. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. 4 seconds passed before she lifted her head and Tears still glistened in her eyes, but her face was no longer a mask of sadness. Now embarrassment and happiness mingled rather than warred. Soul, O human child who has never given up, who forges ever onward. Is that what you truly feel? Am I correct in believing that you didn't speak out of pity? Yeah, I mean, seeing people cry and be sad is honestly a terrible thing. Very well. She seemed convinced and nodded lightly. Then, I accept that your words are heartfelt, and yes, I will continue enjoying frozen treats. It seems I have no means to learn of the Allfather's intentions from him directly, for the time being. But I shouldn't stop eating the frozen treats. They're not to blame. Yeah, God of War's depiction of Odin is definitely a very, like, from what a lot of people say, God of War's depiction of Odin is a very accurate depiction of Odin. Same thing with Thor, really. They really captured the muscular Nordic body type with Thor. A lot of people didn't like it because, you know, God of War Ragnarok's Thor looked fat. But that's what someone who is strong would look like back then. I mean, I wouldn't put the blame on Marvel and their depiction of Thor. I would not put the blame on Marvel or their depiction of Thor, just because, again, that was more to capture celebrity power. They're going to up the standard concepts of attractiveness to match modern day sensibilities in those kinds of things. The medium of video games, you have a lot more leeway with stuff. A lot more leeway. Yeah, he had massive bulk. He was like a bodybuilder. Thor was essentially a bodybuilder. He had that kind of he had a bodybuilder's physique, or a strongman physique, I think is the proper term. Strongman. Yeah, he had a strongman physique. Thor did. I don't think the Allfather or Frozen Treats had any ill intentions. Frozen Treats having ill intentions. I mean, that'd be hilarious. Now we need Maeve to comfort her bestie. Following these events, Skadi, the Divine Spirit, is currently stable. A most pleasant outcome. She has retained her memories and experiences from the Lost Belt. The cruel decisions she'd been required to make to maintain her rule in the Lost Belt, to say nothing of its harsh conditions, must have weighed heavily upon her. God or no, 3,000 years is long enough to put quite a strain on her. So does this mean we need to get Morgan some counseling as well? I think Morgan needs a counseling session. Who do we need to call upon to get Morgan the counseling she probably needs? Therefore, in such case as this, it was entirely possible for her spirit origin to collapse from the psychological trauma of what she recalled from the Scandinavian Lost Belt. Ultimately, Master managed to secure the best possible result. In fact, it exceeded my optimistic projections. I must commend Master, the Cuchulains, and Queen Maeve for their excellent work. This concludes the report of Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, she needs psychological help. Morgan needs some psychological evaluation to get help. Also, Bunny Shisho. Why Bunny Shisho? I don't know, but you know, Infinity Lord, maybe Bunny Shisho will be luck for you to find the perfect skunk. The issue is with me eating a frozen treat? Why are you so flushed, Maeve? You keep muttering to yourself, and I can't understand you. Don't tell me you've mistaken me for the other me. No, I did not. Why would you think that anyway? Now I'm pissed. I'm super mad all the time, but today I'm extra mad. Okay, let's go outside, Ska. Today I'm showing you who's best once and for all. There's better things to do than fight. Master is right. Oh. Fighting is a waste of time. She wants to enjoy her treat, so let her enjoy it. Frozen treats are wonderful. They're sweet. They're cold. They're sweet and cold. Exactly. Everyone knows that, and cut it out. I don't want to see the same two faces nodding in the same way. Stop it. But now that I look closer, your expressions are completely different. You know, I'm pretty sure I've seen something that the official artist for Skadi has, they posted something, like, showing that Skadi is a younger version of Skaha. Yes, I think I found it. Skadi and Skaha, different proportions. Yep. This is what I am referring to. Let me get the image up here. And post it in chat. That is the image I am referring to, showing the differences between the two. At least their body proportions. I said cut it out! Ophelia, maybe? Are we gonna see Ophelia? Frozen treats. What is that? Is that what you call snow in your native language? We are seeing Ophelia! Apologies, Your Majesty. Ice cream and ice pops. They're both considered frozen treats in proper human history. Something called gelato is another type of ice cream. Don't forget custard. Which is why, when I said that Mount... from proper human history was like gelato, my metaphor was not inaccurate. That may have caused your confusion. Please pardon my verbal gaffe. Frozen treats. Your Majesty. Yes, sounds good. Now that you've brought that to mind, I'm not at all interested in proper human history, but I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you something. You make the cutest expressions. The cultivation of the tree of emptiness is going well. That means your mother has some time on her hands. And I'm a naturally curious one at that, since you, my new daughter, have mentioned this strange new term. I'm compelled to know more about it. What would be funny is if we get a Loki more devious than the Loki to appear in the story in FGO. That would be interesting to see a devious Loki. Because I feel like common conception of Loki has turned him into a more heroic figure lately. Compared to, actual Loki. Outlaw! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Happy things, happy things. Yeah, no, definitely no Elden Ring today, unfortunately, Outlaw. Possibly tomorrow. It kind of depends on how far I can take the tower event when it drops tomorrow, but there is a possibility of doing some Night Rain tomorrow. But happy things, Outlaw. Happy things. Have you done any remembrances? Have you defeated any more Night Lords? Also, I do wish we had more interaction with Ophelia, because she did seem like a good friend to Mash. And Mash needs more friends. So, let me ask you again. These frozen treats, are they ice that you consume? If you're speaking of simply adding flavoring to ice, I have done that to amuse myself on a few occasions. So are these frozen treats of yours anything like the ones I made before? What are they exactly? Well, frozen treats, as the name implies, are basically food made by freezing something. Ice cream is made by freezing a mixture of cow's milk, sugar, and sometimes chicken eggs. Ice pops are generally frozen fruit juice. They're both sweet and cold. They melt in your mouth. Ah, related to the pick, yeah. You've made me want to find Radahn's Great Blades as Recluse. You have made me want the Radahn Great Blades as Recluse. Servant Centaur event rewards and servant bonus to the Discord. No, I think it's fine to not do those. I think it's... You can if you want to. You know, that's a better phrase. If you want to, you can do it. But I'm not going to say yes to do it. Just if you want to do it, then go ahead. Personally, I rather like them. They are by no means food necessary for survival, but the sensation of a sweet treat melting in your mouth is... Tell me more. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels wonderful. It's like a little moment of happiness. Happiness, you say? Very good. This pleases me. I never expected to hear you, of all people, speaking of happiness. Mother's delighted, Ophelia. I am humbled. This is just my own experience, but whenever I eat ice cream, it brings back things I've long since forgotten. Sarter! You did a run earlier today as Raider, pulled Malchus Blade, soloed a Magma Worm with it. Nice. Getting used to new controller feels good. Face buttons have a satisfying click. Yeah, I do have vague memories of being younger and using an Xbox-style controller, but I honestly prefer PlayStation-style controllers, to be honest. Excuse me. I prefer the PlayStation-style controllers. You mean like a past fling? What? Sigurd, control yourself, and no, you are incorrect. Oh? Your Majesty, too? No, it's not like that. Whenever I eat ice cream, as it melts in my mouth, I'm suddenly reminded, though in a hazy sort of way, of my youth. Interesting. At that moment, the Queen didn't ask her to clarify what she meant. She didn't inquire whether eating these frozen treats brought Ophelia back to when she was still young and innocent. Instead, she just smiled softly and said, "Ah, that sounds wonderful. Sounds lovely. Ophelia, if I were to ever taste one of these frozen treats of yours, I'm sure I would think back on this world in its heyday. Back to when there were still seasons, gods, and an Allfather watching over everything with his one-eyed gaze. Back when, if he smiled, the spring goddess would dance to end the harsh winter and summon the new life of spring. I'm sure that is what I would think of, the age when the world overflowed with God's love. I'm sure of it. Well, runes cannot be carved into forms I'd have never known, but yes, one day I would like to taste these frozen treats. I swear to you, I shall provide some for you as soon as the Tree of Emptiness is in its full bloom." Very good. But then again, this is just my personal opinion, but I don't know whether the frozen treats will live up to your Majesty's tremendous expectations. Hey, congrats, Infinity Lord, congrats. Very poetic, Ophelia. The Skalds are no match for the words you've spoken here. Sigurd! You know, if you really wanted to get Skadi some frozen treats, you probably could have asked Koyan. I'm sure Koyan might think it's beneath her to be like a ice cream delivery woman, but she would have totally probably brought some frozen ice cream. Alright, that was the first interlude of the night. Only the first one. I kind of went off on tangents there, so I'm gonna lock in a little bit for Asclepius's here. The Memory of Medicine. I don't know when this might take place, to be honest, though. At least post LB5. Are you there, Leonardo da Vinci? I need to talk to you. Oh, hey, Asclepius. We almost never see you in the command room. What's up? Somebody not feeling well or something? Oh, I appreciate you keeping your eye out for clinical trial opportunities to help me further my medical research, Master. But no, I'm here about a different matter today, since there doesn't seem to be anyone here who I could call my patient. Indeed, everyone here seems to be perfectly healthy, unfortunately. You never change, do you? So, what's up? It's about the infirmary. I appreciate the permission to use it, but I'm afraid it's a little hard to use efficiently as it is now. An interpreting Margit, foul nightfare in search of the Night Lord, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Someone must extinguish thy fame. Let it be fell omen. No! Margit, no! And actually, I kind of wonder, why is Margit on the Night Lord's side? I hope we get some explanation for that eventually. Would you mind if I restructured it? What do you mean restructure? I mean I'd like to reorganize the medicine cabinets and change the instrument layout. If it were my room alone, I'd have already done so, but as I'm technically renting it, I thought it right to ask. Okay, I don't see why not. Besides, I'm sure you'll be using it more than anyone now that you'll be handling medical treatments around here. Hey, Jakester, welcome to the stream. How be things? We're all counting on your expertise, Mr. Greek God of Medicine. Thanks a bunch for coming here. I need as many case studies as possible if I'm going to advance my research as far as it can go. And being here should let me do that. It's simply a matter of you scratch my back, I scratch yours. There is no need to thank me, or even to expect much from me. I can't wait to try some cutting-edge techniques I've been thinking on the patients about to come my way. No maidens? No, I don't want to have no maidens. I only want Melina from the Elden Ring. She is the only maiden from Elden Ring that I desire. Melina! Don't worry. I guarantee you their maladies will be cured. I can't assure anything else besides that, though. Maybe Duchess. Maybe Duchess. Well, we know your medical skills are top-notch, so I'm not worried about that. I just wish you would do something about your more mad scientist tendencies. She said the brilliant inventor whose genius can literally not be measured. One final hunting request to get the arts art. Which hunting request do you still have to do, Infinity Lord? Oh, and one more thing. I also wanted to ask you about the old exam records. Given the obvious gaps, there must be more besides the ones kept in the infirmary, no? I am not maidenless! Okay, maybe I am. I'm guessing the missing records are those of servants that have been summoned here, not Chaldea's staff. For servants, I imagine you recorded things like what their sort of symptoms they showed and what spiritual measures were taken to treat them. Those medical techniques may be limited in scope, but they could still be of use when it comes to progressing human medicine. So as someone dedicated to advancing the science of medicine, I need to know what they are. Were those gaps in the data left there intentionally? There's more that I just haven't transcribed the data yet to either paper or digital for various reasons. I did manage to bring it with me when we escaped from Chaldea, but then once we made it here to the Wandering Sea and had a chance to catch our breath, I just didn't feel right about leaving files containing such data in the new infirmary. Then one thing led to another, as it so often does around here, and it kind of ended up just leaving it where it was. You know, poor Asclepius, he's gonna take this interlude to rearrange the infirmary in a matter of his choosing, and then the whole Wandering Sea is just gonna be launched like a tactical missile at Olga. All the meticulous preparations he did to the infirmary, gone. Wasted. Like dust in the wind. So then it does exist, but it's being kept somewhere else. Why? Well, basically it all comes down to privacy. I mean, medical history, especially anything to do with mental health, is obviously closely tied to a servant's past trauma and major life events, right? It's one thing if it's basically public knowledge, but sometimes there are things that were lost to history books, things in a servant's past that they just want to keep absolutely private. Exactly, Outlaw. Exactly. Melina needs to return! Why? Especially if you do the full Frenzy Flamed ending with sparing Melina as well. It's very much implied she's the Glow-Eyed Queen. We need some sort of confirmation in Elden Ring 2. Something so painful that they could wind up flying off the handle and try to kill everyone who found out. Even Master. Hey, can't help it if my dreams are weird. And that's not all. Exam records like that don't just reveal things about the patients, but about the doctor who examined them too. In this case, the former head of the infirmary. Your predecessor, basically. Who? Oh, Romani. Romani! Yes, I know someone else used to hold my position. I've heard some stories about him, and I've also seen records attesting to as much in the infirmary. Sure, that kind of surface-level information is fine, since it can't cause anyone any harm. But once it was clear to my previous self that she was going to have to leave the old Chaldea, I think she must... Oh, welcome, Viper. Welcome to the stream. Happy things, happy things. And yes, watch drop rates and deeds. I think she must have thought a lot over how much his data to include in the report to the association. In the data she archived while she was thinking about what to do in that exam data is what you're looking for. So to summarize, the old exam data on the servants include sensitive information about both those servants and the former head of the infirmary who treated them. And that's why you don't keep them in the infirmary. But be as it may, I still need that data, and it's not like I want it out of mere curiosity or nosiness. The information past doctors recorded about their patients is most valuable information a new doctor treating the patients can have. It will help future exams go smoothly and enable me to develop or refine more treatments I need to be able to access it. Where can I find it? Oh, we'll split into Magecraft fragments. or then attached to other servants who were using the infirmary to treat patients before you. But don't worry, it shouldn't be hard to restore. All you have to do is ask them for their access. That said, you're still pretty new here, and I'm sure there's plenty of servants you haven't met yet. So it might be a good idea if Sol went with you. I got this. I can't imagine why I would need the Master's protection only to ask for access. Hey, you never know. It might be a lot more challenging than you think. You might not be the new infirmary head, but you're definitely looking to be a star player, so to speak. And the other servants might not appreciate someone new horning in on their territory. Here's your headcanon. Save Melina from burning. Consorted Ronnie to get her new body. Had Ronnie on one arm, Melina on the other. Ronnie's a little too egotistic, I think, for my taste. Just saying. Plus, she is a doll, so, you know, that's a little weird. So don't think they'll sign off on you that easily just because you're a famous god of medicine. I mean, we know Nightingale does treat Asclepius as the head doctor, so this might be the start of their relationship. If you end up butting heads, I'll jump things in and smooth them over, hopefully. I see. In that case, it may indeed be worthwhile to have Master come along. However, doing one's part to advance medicine is a duty, not a privilege. Anyone who would refuse is a foolish patient, devoid of imagination, even if they happen to work in medicine themselves. So if any of these servants should ignore my words or Masters, or otherwise remain uncooperative, I'll consider them to be interfering with the advance of medicine and eliminate them accordingly. I trust that is all right with you. I may as well get going. I think Paracelsus is at least another one. So Nightingale, Paracelsus, I'm not sure who else. Maybe Jekyll, possibly. Oh, whoops, sorry. It was so long ago that I'm kind of fuzzy on who. But I do know they were all servants who've used the infirmary themselves, so that narrows it down a lot. Just let Sol lead the way, and I'm sure you'll be able to track them all down. Localization made them worse than she is, and you will die on this hill for Ronnie. You know, Sanson is a possibility. Jack. Jackie could also be a one. She does have the surgery skill. Jackie does have the surgery skill. Spirit 13.7 drop rate. Ooh, yeah. I hate those low drop rates. Do suck, Viper. I can sympathize with you there. Let's go. Alright then, lead the way please, Master. Though, you know, I can't believe you forgot exactly where you were keeping such crucial data. You should know medical records deserve much more respect than that. Well, it was multiple servants is the thing, so Jackie could be one of them. I'm not discounting the possibility of Jackie. Assassin! Could be Jackie. Alright, so Asclepius needs to be the primary. Excuse me. Party 1. Casta. I need to get a Casta. Where is Asclepius? There he is. Alright, he's in summer mode! I almost forgot he's in summer mode. Why Emiya's here? I have no idea. Put Avenger comma here. And yes, this should be fine because I can't swap Mashi if I want the extra 15%. Alright, let's go. Sanson is also an assassin. I mean, I guess. All that being said, it's true that I'm still not used to this place, so it would have been more difficult to find these other servants on my own. So I suppose that's one more reason why I should be grateful for your accompanying me. Shouldn't be so damn low. I agree with you, Viper. I agree. I might know this place better than you, but it's still a big place. Not a problem. We can start by talking to everyone we come across. I'm used to asking certain people questions, thanks to the many consultations I performed. Hey, Zahak! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream, Abby Things, Abby Things. Here comes someone now. Perfect timing. Paris! Let's go say hi. Well, hello, Master. Are you taking a walk? And who are, I think Asclepius might be a little shell-shocked here. What is it, Lord Apollo? It's not like you to whisper. What? You're not gonna move or say anything here? You want me to just think of you as as a stuffed animal because of reasons. Delicious before packing for a wedding in Washington State. Ah, nice. Very far away out that wedding is, it seems. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I think you've said you live in the Midwest, so, you know. Oh, Apollo's Asclepius' dad. I kind of didn't realize that. But, I hope you have fun at the wedding you're going to. Malicious compliance stories are always a fun thing to listen to people read off. I don't know where they find, like, all these good malicious compliance stories. Because whenever I go looking, I can never find any good ones to read. But why? Does it have anything to do with that man standing over there with his mouth agape? They do have history, don't they? That smell. It reeks in here. No, it doesn't. Everyone always compliments me on how much I smell like soap. No, yes, it does. It reeks of divinity. It reeks of a selfish, narrow-minded, loathsome excuse for a Greek god. A god? Are you talking about Lord Apollo? But he's so soft and fluffy. And I always thought he smelled like sunshine. Isn't there... I'm pretty sure FGO has made some questionable connotations with regards to the exact relationship between Paris and Apollo. Am I wrong in that assumption, or have those questionable things happened before? I could have swore there was some questionable connotations between their relationship. Apollo, then that sheep. I knew it. Ah, thief! Lord Apollo, thief! Give him back! I can't believe you just threw Lord Apollo away like a piece of garbage! How could you do such a thing? You get smoked 2 seconds by almost someone. True. Very true with regards to Asclepius there, Viper. Apollo just likes Paris because he's cute in his younger years. Yeah, honestly, that's a little creepy there. That is a little creepy that Apollo is keeping Paris as a child because he thinks he's cute. Just a little bit creepy. Welcome back, Infinity Lord. Did you get your last perfect hunt? No, Lord Apollo, your fluffy wool soaked up all that trash like a sponge. When did you change your outfit? Why did you change your outfit? Don't worry, I'm not contagious. I just don't want to have to deal with that stink anymore. That thing is just a terminal, but even so, I don't want to be in the same room as it, let alone breathe the same air. To be blunt, I hate that thing, and I demand you keep it away from me. I don't even want to look at it as it might end up crushing it unconsciously. What? How can you be so mean? Oh, I don't know if you can blame him. Apollo does like humans, but that also means he makes more trouble for them. Yep. You know the expression about just knowing just enough to be dangerous? It's like 3 times worse when you're talking about a god knowing just enough about humans. Artemis! How is Asclepius going to react to Artemis? I'm pretty sure I live near a Cracker Barrel. Hi, Paris. Nice to see you. Too, my poor grumpy nephew Asclepius. Hey, I'm the cute Orion, so you're Asclepius, huh? I heard Artemis here went a little wild after I died. I might not have done anything directly myself, but I'm sorry for the trouble anyway. It was always a dream of mine to fully bring the dead back to life. So I'm sure that cowardly god would have struck me with lightning sooner or later, even without your involvement. There's also a Culver's near me as well. I think the Culver's is closer than the Cracker Barrel, though. The only grudge I hold is towards him is his detestable narrow-mindedness. Ooh. Van Gogh's reaction. Yeah. Goey would have an interesting reaction to Apollo as well. The gods of Olympus don't usually go around doing things that aren't in their spec sheets. Well, I do, but I don't count since that side of me is fundamentally broken. Anyway, I overheard Apollo's name and couldn't help but poke my nose in. What are you guys talking about? We weren't talking, I was just demanding that loathsome terminal be taken somewhere I don't have to see it. Gosh, really? Even though Apollo's just being a cute, harmless animal-type terminal for once? That means I can beat him this time. So that cute little thing is Apollo, the same god that tricked Artemis and got me killed. I see. Oh, Lord Apollo, you're going to running into Lady Artemis and Orion by pretending to just be a stuffed animal here too, aren't you? Never mind that thing. It's not even close to the main unit. There's no point in being overly sensitive about a terminal that can't even talk. It's just bad for my mental health. Can't even talk, huh? That said, it may be a good thing that I happen to run into you here, Aunt Artie. Stop! Don't you dare call me Aunt! It just sounds so old! You should know not to call people names when you know it bothers them. Wow. You know, normally I would say yes, but like, modern day media has been turning aunts and uncles younger and younger and younger. I mean, just look at the most recent Spider-Man, which has Tom Holland playing in it. Look at his aunt in that. And then look at the OG Peter Maguire Spider-Man, and look at his aunt in that. There's two very different interpretations of how old an aunt is, I think. Now, come on, we're technically family, so we should try to get along. Isn't that what humans do with families? Family or not, you're still a god. I have no wish to talk to you more than strictly necessary. You know that just as well as I do, don't you, Aunt Artie? Stop it! Usually I would be looking for a new way to perfect my resurrection elixir, but today I'm trying to find certain servants of interest. Just checked Van Gogh does not have a line for Paris, which is a big miss. True. I mean, yeah, it is more Clyde than Van Gogh. Goey is more Clyde than Van Gogh. I recall the event well enough. If you help me, I'll refrain from calling you the A word. But yes, Viper, I agree, the drop rates definitely need to be fixed and tuned. They definitely need to be fixed and tuned for a lot of stuff. That just sounds like a threat to me. But okay. Kind big sister Artemis just can't help but spoil her nibblings. So, where are you looking for you? Well, we're looking for... Got it. Godly powers. Activate! Well, shouldn't see much. Okay, you'll find him over there. Understood. Thank you, alright. Thank you, sweet and beautiful big sister Artemis. Oh, you remember what you're supposed to say when I've done you a favor? That was so wonderful. You think? It sure didn't sound like his heart was in it to me. This sort of thing is just why I can't help bestowing my power on you, even when you're trying to break the rules and make a resurrection elixir. You ever think you're some kind of pushover when it comes to family? Isn't that the kind of thing that led to Zeus killing him? Hey, Orion, family should be all that needs to be said. In the words of the great Vin Diesel, family. Or I guess Dom Toretto. Family. Now that I know where to look, I don't need to stick around dealing with gods anymore. Let's go, Master. Okay, see you later. See you, pal. Let's hang out sometime, just the two of us. I have a feeling I got a feeling having you around is really going to improve my hit-on rate. What's that hit-on rate, darling? Are you trying to hit on other girls again? Crap. Say, Paris, that stuffed sheep of yours looks pretty dirty. Maybe you should throw it in the washer. Yeah, I think that would be a great idea, divinely speaking. We could even throw Darling in with him. Let's set the timer dial to eternity to make sure his mind stays nice and clean. Wait, huh? Oh gods, please don't punish us together. Do you have any idea how awkward that'll be? Look, now you got that innocent little boy all confused because he can't tell if you're joking. That was an interesting little aside. They're a spirited bunch, aren't they? That's one way to put it. There are far too many Greek divinities here for my liking. I can only hope this place never gets any more. I honestly don't remember if we get any more Greek divinities. Have we gotten any more Greek divinities since LB5? But that has nothing to do with my work here. Don't worry, I'll make sure to do my job well. I'll even treat that little brat to the best of my ability if he should ever come to me for medical assistance. I promise you I won't go easy on him in the slightest. You don't discriminate then. Huh? Non-discrimination! Well done, Asclepius. Well done. Asclepius is non-discriminative with his treatment practices. Of course not, though naturally I will smash that Apollo terminal into the nearest trash can first. That part is non-negotiable. Anyway, this should be the place. It was Sanson! Oh, hello, Master. And you are... My name is Asclepius. I need to ask you something. So you see... Also, I'm just now realizing... Why is it Janice, J6, and Zahak, you all have the same chat color? It's just interesting that you all have the same color of purple in my chat. Outlaw is close, but his is more blue. Viper and Jakester have the same color as well, though. How does that work? Purple rules? Fair enough. Purple does rule. I do like purple. I mean, purple is kind of my main theme color as well, so, you know, fair enough. I was just curious. Now I understand. Yes, I do have some of the old exam data pertaining to his records. I honestly thought it was more just like a default thing for my chat that set your guys' color to purple. And for some reason, other people were not set such ways. Truth be told, I wondered if I was fit to hold on to it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of morbid, but very true. The best killers are often those with the best medical knowledge. Still, while I may have not had the relationship with him that Master did, as one of the old guard here, I did still know him for a fairly long time. So since it was only a fragment of the data, I agreed to hold on to it temporarily. Answer me this. Are you a doctor? No, I can't say that I am. I did work in the infirmary helping out as needed, but I'm not a doctor by any means. In the end, I'm just an executioner. I used my hands to end lives as much more than I did to save them. The only medical knowledge I have came about as a kind of side effect from working in executions. It can't compare that to a real doctor. So you say there's worthy medical knowledge, and you're not worthy medical knowledge. You say there's worthy medical knowledge and not worthy medical knowledge. Bleh. Van Gogh. Van Gogh technically kind of comes like before LB5 is Imaginary Scrambles set piece. Huyan Zhao for Impusa's leg and Saberdusa. So those are the only two. I don't know much about Impusa. Wow, that was very fast there, Infinity Lord. Very Infinity. Very fast. I mean, you didn't need to change your name color, Janice. It was just like something I've noticed and I was questioning why. You can change it back to purple if you want. As much as you dislike Sanson, you're going to give him credit where credit is due. Yeah, he is legit decent at medicine, but he's also, you know, pretty good killer. Medicine is medicine. All that matters is whether it's useful and whether it can cure people or not. The truth is, the more death you've seen, the better you can keep others from dying. And J6 went pink. That was very fast, Infinity Lord. I've seen far more people die than a typical executioner. In fact, that's what made me want to overcome death. I see. It would seem you truly are the avatar of doctors everywhere, Asclepius, god of medicine. It may not matter how later generations speak of me, but I can't say that I like being called a god. In the end, I'm just a doctor who wants to do what he can to develop medicine further. That's all I need. Well, it just sounded like you had been on a very long journey, because you said like 6 hours for a perfect robin, and then you just got a perfect beaver in sub 1 hour. So, Will you let me see the old exam data you possess? Had a job, did what he wanted to, even though he didn't want to, and as Net and Marie was caught in the crossfire. Yeah, poor Sanson. Let me ask you a question of my own first. What do you think, Master? I hope you'll let him see it, but it's up to you, Sanson. I see. In that case, there's one thing I'd like to resolve first. If I simply hand this data over now, it'd mean giving it up for nothing more than one doctor's convictions. And that's just not quite enough for something this valuable. So I'd like to see your skill for myself, Asclepius. Please, show me why you're the right person to take this off my hands. So you want to see my skill at treating patients and performing operations, do you? Fine with me, but I insist you show me your skill in return. No matter how good a doctor you may be, there will always be times when you can't handle everything on your own. If you have what it takes to assist me, you'll always be welcome in my infirmary. Ah, guaranteed spot for the beaver. That would indeed make it easier. I should probably stop drinking my chocolate shake. But it's so good. So good. Do you have an... I can't remember. Do you have an offensive NP? No, you have a passive, so... Push some buttons. Castorias, give yourself the arts buffs for once. And go. True. Very true. I still kind of am curious as to marrow. I don't know if I've ever actually expressed that, but I kind of want to know what bone marrow tastes like. I've been told it has a very distinct taste, but not one that can be described well. But I want to try. Because whenever I have, you know... Well, I want to eat marrow from a bone. Because apparently you can, like, cook bone marrow properly, and I want to try cooked bone marrow straight from a bone. All it takes for you not like Sir to talk too much shit, and we know they can't do it. Fair. Fair there, Viper. Just buy some bones. I don't think it's that easy to just buy bones. I could be wrong on that. I hope I'm not going to be put on any lists for looking this up. So I'm just going to go to Walmart's website and see if I can't find bones on Walmart. Bones that are not dog traits. Bones for dogs. Yeah, all this bone stuff is for dogs. Go to a butcher and ask for some. I don't even know if we've got... I don't even know if there's, like, butchers around me. I'm gonna make sure this does not give away any indication of my location. Yeah, I cannot say the name of the... So there is a meat market in my town that most people buy any proteins and meats from. I cannot say the name of said meat market, because saying that would, you know, give a bit of a location information, and I'm very ambiguous about exactly where I'm located, other than that I am on one of the Great Lakes. But, yeah, if I said this, then I would definitely give away my location, so I cannot say, but I'm gonna look up to see if they sell bones. Okay. Is there like a search function on their website? from them online? Do they not have an actual search? Well, not bad at all. You really have seen much more death in your time than most. There we go. You're too kind. Seeing your techniques from the time when God still walked the earth was an eye-opener. There were many aspects to it that I couldn't understand that I could still tell was the result of all the hard work you devoted to mastering medicine. A whole center-cut femur bone. They sell femur bones for $5.99 a pound. But it's for the pets. So... Alright, I'm convinced. I think I can trust you to not misuse the data. That said, I'm not entirely sure you'll be able to understand it. But never mind that. A promise is a promise. Here you are. It's all compressed, so it won't take long at all. Go to your traditional market, get 1 to 2 pounds. Maybe I should just... I'm pretty sure we've got bone in ribs. That might work. Could I just use, like, ribs? Like, the bones inside of ribs? And try getting bone marrow out of those? Do you guys know? Line. Transmission ended. You okay? Yes, I'm fine. And this does indeed appear to be part of the exam data I've been looking for. It also contained information about the man who led Chaldea's medical division. Back when he had been completely isolated from the world and humanity at large during the incineration of humanity incident. I also saw what this doctor did back then. How he saw patients, how he examined them, how he interacted with them. Albeit only in partial, fragmented form. Ribs don't have marrow? Darn. What'd you think? Any impressions there, Asclepius? About the former head doctor, you mean? Well, in a word, I would say he was a perfectly ordinary man. He did all he could handling problems as they arose and to head them off before they worsened. He did his best as a mere human to handle the events happening around him and to care for the patients they generated. That is not something that just anyone can do, and he should still be commended for that. Still. No, never mind. There are all sorts of doctors, after all. It's not my place to say anything more. He was a very different kind of doctor than you. Yes, human. Very much. Quote-unquote, human. I see. At any rate, this data alone won't be enough to give me the full picture. Let's look for another Surin who's likely to have a piece. Who are you planning to go see next? I see. Jack. I can't be sure about anyone other than myself, but that does sound right to me. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I don't know where they could be right now. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. We'll just look around until we find them. You can do it, Infinity Lord, I believe. Although it seems the last head doctor didn't care about advancing medicine. It was as though he had no interest whatsoever in pushing the medical arts forward, or in helping them to evolve. From what I saw, it looked like he had his hands completely full taking care of the day-to-day affairs. He and I may both be doctors, but our goals are very different. I can't help but find that disappointing. I do still need the old data, but I'll have to lower my hopes about finding anything useful for progressing out of it. Yeah, Romani is complicated. Data update! Foe is running in the corner. Foe is running in the corner. I wouldn't hurt Jack, but she's likely to have some information. She has the surgery skill. So if anybody would know something, Jack is a very likely candidate. I can see her having been brought to the infirmary to learn. And that actually honestly reminds me of some fan art I've seen of Jack grown up as a doctor in med school. Or in med school. It would be a very appropriate career path for little Jackie. Next person always shows up in certain situations. So that's why we've come here, to where many people gather. Be careful, it would be all too easy for infectious disease to spread in such a place where a number of people are always coming and going. On a different note, I was expecting to hear people chatting here, but it's much noisier than I thought it would be. Some of those voices sound familiar, too. Jason! The Argonauts! And then, just when things seemed completely hopeless, I stood my ground firmly and said, I'll face you head on, I won't run or hide, so just bring it on, you cretins. Right to their faces. I see you still have no idea when to shut up. Stop regaling me with tales of the adventures I never asked to hear. It's ruining my meal. Besides, it was not you doing the fighting in that story. It was Heracles, right? If you're going to tell a story, then tell it right. Excuse me. I don't expect feeble-minded felines to understand this, but that's a storytelling technique called playing up dramatic tension. Hey, you used to teach him as well, correct? Get him to shut up, or better yet, make him redo his training starting from year 1. That's quite the tall order, though I might just add him to the graduation test for my students. So I be the great hero standing in your inferior compared to me students' way as the last major obstacle they need to overcome before they can graduate, I could get on board with that. Good grief, you are always a blowhard, but it seems like you've gotten even worse since you came here. That smell. It's been a long time since I've seen you all gathered here together like this. Do any of you have a rare, unprecedented disease to show me to commemorate our reunion? No? Figures. No way, Asclepius! I haven't seen you since you were serving as the faint ship doctor of my Argo. How have you been, you old son of a god? Still as healthy as ever, unfortunately. I'm sorry to see you doing so well too, Jason. I do hope they fully, make an anime out of Fate Strange Fake. Because Fate Strange Fake seems like quite the wild ride. I mean, we get alter ego Gilgamesh in that. And I want to know how they plan to justify alter ego Gilgamesh with what we have recently learned about alter egos. He really does look genuinely happy about this. Don't let him fool you, Master. His joy has nothing to do with seeing an old friend. No, I'm sure that's part of it, at least to some degree. Excellent. Now my odds of surviving, no matter what happens, have gone way up. You're one of the Argonauts after all, so I basically own you. Jason, my man. People don't own people anymore. You've obtained the scroll statue for the mission, now you need to do part 2 to get the trophy. You're on the track, Infinity Lord. You're on the track. Son of a god is probably not that uncommon. I wonder if that was a slur or a term of praise. As an Argonaut, it's your duty to heal me, the captain of the Argo, before healing anyone else, right? Okay, I'll go ahead and drop a contract that declares you as my exclusive doctor, just like before. Naturally, that means you won't have to bother with doling out meds or treating any other patients besides me. I have no interest in being your exclusive doctor, Jason. That's just as true now as it ever was. Besides, you're too damn healthy anyway. Why can't you be more reckless and come back with an interesting injury or disease now and then? I'd be happy to take a look at you if you fought a rare demonic beast and got a severe injury like Heracles or Theseus. But the only malady you ever come down with is an upset stomach caused by eating rotten food. What did you expect? He's the kind of man who's happy to let others face danger while he hides away in safety. What about you, Adelante? You seem much more likely than Jason to provide me with interesting new case study. Do you have any conditions you'd like to let me examine? Hold it. Since when do you have cat ears and a tail? I don't remember you having those on the Argo. Wait. Hang on. Adelante wasn't always a cat girl? I thought she was always a cat girl. This is news to me. Fascinating. Now those are definitely something worth examining. Hey, don't creep up on me like that, especially when I'm eating. If you try touching my ears and tail without asking, I will kill you where you stand. You may be a great doctor, but you're downright inhuman when it comes to anything not related to medicine. It's long past time you were aware of that. I did teach him about things besides medicine, but it seems like they didn't take. I'm so sorry. Teacher, I didn't know you were here, too. If you ever get any strange or unusual patients, please be sure to send them my way. I won't be sending any to you, though. You haven't changed a bit, have you? I'm actually relieved to see that. It's because at the end of her myth, Artemis turns her into a lion. Doesn't Adelante, like, praise Artemis? Why would she do that if Artemis turns her into a lion? Why does Artemis turn Adelante into a lion? I'm confuzzled. By the way, Master, you should know that Jason is quite serious. Perhaps you'd like to say something? Great, now I just have to get a scroll inscribed with the spell of binding for the contract to make him sign. No. Yeah, to sign a contract, you have to run it by me first, Jason. You're here too, Master. Damn it. Even if he wasn't, I already told you I'm not interested in being your exclusive doctor. Try to listen for once. Oh, well, at least he's aware I'm here now. That's gotta make a big difference, even without a contract. No matter how obsessed with medicine he is, he still has to feel some gratitude toward the man who led the Argonauts, namely me. Right. On second thought, maybe I'd better just make sure I stick close to him if anything bad goes down. Anyway, Master, I'm sure you didn't come here just to hold an Argonauts reunion. What do you want? Well, I don't think any of you but Adelante has been here for long enough to have assisted in the infirmary, but... An infirmary, huh? Personally, I'd rather you open one on my ship before you open one here. Artemis is a bitch, and Adelante did something that disrespected her. I mean, most of the Greek pantheon were bastards and bitches, to be fair. I'm pretty sure most of them were. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure he still belongs to me. Where did he get off by letting everyone else take advantage of him? Where did you get the idea that he was your sole property? I swear. Don't worry about Jason, Master. Asclepius' medical skills are the genuine article. If you can get him to cooperate, and you should, they would benefit everyone at Chaldea. However, his personality is just as horrible as Jason's, albeit in a very different way. There is no telling what sort of trouble he may cause others if it's meant furthering his medical research. I forgot about Media Lily. Mainly because I want more base media. We need more base media, not Media Lily. Hey, you never ate your dessert. Oh, that's just bad manners. Here, I'll take care of it for you. What do you think you're doing? I was saving that for last so I could savor it. No, I don't buy it. You just changed your mind, decided you wanted it after all you saw me enjoying it. Good lord, Jason. You're such an ass. Disrespecting part is she lost a race which made her get married, but followers of Artemis aren't allowed to prefer. She lost... I thought she never lost a race, though. Isn't that her thing, is she's never lost a race? And that's why there was some kind of, tension between her and Achilles in Apocrypha? Oh, someone cheated. Okay. I can't blame you. It was really good. I can still taste its deliciousness lingering on my tongue. Man, I really feel bad for anyone who didn't get to enjoy that scrumptious treat themselves. You bastard! Oh, my neck. Crap. The same hole you used to be. Please, yes, isn't it? Help! She's gonna kill me. Someone save me. Asclepius. Those injuries are still too ordinary to interest me. I don't suppose you could twist his neck around a little bit more ostentatiously, could you? Ask and ye shall receive. Hold it right there. Nightingale! Talk about a happy accident. She lost the race due to a golden apple said cheater used to distract Adelante. Ah. Which Adelante wasn't able to resist to grab the apple. Okay. I'm getting some understanding now. Some understanding is flowing into my brain. You there. You're a doctor, are you not? Why aren't you doing anything to help? Just look at his face. It's obvious that cyanosis is starting to set in. I don't know what sort of treatment you're employing here, but you can't treat a patient once they're dead. Don't worry, he's not going to die. It's alright, Nightingale. His foolishness caused this condition, and death is the only thing that will cure it. I see. If death is what he needs to be healthy again, then that's what I'll have to administer. Exactly. Don't think about it too hard. Alright, I won't pretend to understand, but it makes sense that medicine would differ across time and regions. I'll need to experience as much of it as I can if I'm to advance medicine as a whole, and the best way to understand it is to try it myself. Besides, I can't back down now, not when it seems as though she's also carrying a fragment of the exam data I'm looking for. Very well then, we can both demonstrate our technique using Jason as a test subject.
I don't want to be a test subject.
You'll help too, right, teacher? Since you're here and all. Well, now, I've heard of you being resourceful, but this is on quite another level. You really don't have any sense of restraint when it comes to anything other than medicine, do you? But I don't mean that in a bad way. If anything, I find it refreshing how unabashedly straightforward you are. Very well, I'm in. I can't wait to see how much you've grown. I've said it before, I'll say it again. As a doctor, you should be more than thorough than anyone when it comes to disinfecting. Cutting corners is not acceptable. I will do whatever it takes to ensure everything around me is as perfectly sterilized as possible. I mean, wouldn't a perfect sterile condition just mean everything's on fire constantly, I think? Wouldn't that be perfect sterilization of the environment? I think so. Yeah, I mean, you know, Herc is Jason's bud, but he would understand that Jason needs to be put in his place now and then, I think. Pardon the yawn. I'm trying to think. Nightingale needs to go down first. Even fire can cause a mess. I mean, but fire... If everything's on fire, then there can't be any germs. If everything's on fire, there is no germs. You know? So... I think that's good logic. If everything's burning, then no danger of infections. Are you AoE? You are single target. Sure. But it will, you know what? It also cauterizes the wounds, though. Like, any open wounds will be cauterized. So, infection risks are down. You don't need to worry about stitching someone up because their wounds will be cauterized. You know? I think that just, like, what needs to happen is humanity needs to become fireproof so that they can't be burned. And then all future operations can take place solely inside of a burning place that will reduce any and all infection risks. Yeah, my brilliance scares me sometimes. That's Fire Force. Okay, honestly speaking, I've heard of Fire Force, but I've never seen it. Can anybody give me, like, a synopsis of what Fire Force is about? Because, like I said, I've heard it, I've never watched it. All I know is that even though they all use fire, they're, like, really strong or something. Like, on anime power rankings, the protagonist is very high ranking as far as the overall power scale of a lot of things goes. And I don't get that. Killing fire with lots and lots of coin. Okay. That is a fair description, I guess. Although, to be fair, a lot of anime has a lot of horny nowadays. Horny seems to just be a part of anime in the modern day world, place. I do need to lock in, though. Good gracious, I said I'm gonna lock in so I can get this done in good time, and I've been going at this for over an hour, or almost an hour at this point with this interlude. Lock in. I must. Got an essay I need to write, and I don't even remember I don't even know the full topic of the essay. Fire Force is about a world where most things are being burned away, and people spontaneously combust and turn into infernals, which are essentially fire zombies. And we have Fire Force, who use fire powers, which they neutralize the infernals. They kill people, turning into fire monsters, and there's one character who uses as horny plot for the entire show. Mid-2000s levels of horny. Okay. That is a fairly succinct and good explanation. Probably means I'm not going to watch it, though. He's dead! I don't see why we had to hold back that much, seeing as how both Nightingale and Asclepius are here. I'm gonna actually see if I can't get this up. Okay. We could have easily made him nearly dead instead of just half dead. I'll have to do that next time. Yeah, I mean, I'm still on One Piece. I think there's like 70 episodes of the Dressrosa arc left. I've already watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho was awesome, and I am very disappointed they did not dub the very final season. Because Yu Yu Hakusho was awesome. That was like preteen me's go-to anime. The birdcage was just created. Janice. The birdcage was just created. You weren't abandoning medical duties at all. By observing his symptoms as they worsened over time, you were able to find a better method to treat his condition, right? I'm glad you understand my methods now, nurse, and I must say your remarks about sanitation were fascinating as well. The concepts of sterilization and nursing may not serve to further the field of medicine, but they do serve to expand it. Indeed, taking the entire environment in which patients are treated into consideration, where a doctor is only one part of it, may well be the foundation that leads to new advances in medicine. After all, one does need a strong foundation in order to avoid tapering off. That said, I still don't understand why your sanitation methods involve guns and fists, let alone throwing beds. Just don't question it. But I still suspect that's because I'm an ancient heroic spirit and you're a very new one. I can only hope that my studies here at Chaldea help to remedy that. Even if the knowledge I gain is limited to the version of me that has been summoned here. Except it won't, Asclepius. The you on the throne of heroes will remember all of this. Because that's how it works. No matter what they say, what you learn while summoned carries back to the throne of heroes. That's fair. Watch OG Hunter x Hunter. That's on my list. Another anime that's recently gotten onto my list is something called Apothecary Diaries and Don, I think, was the other one. But I've also got JoJo's to watch. I've got a lot of anime I need to watch. Now, what was it you wished to talk to me about? The old exam data, was it? Yes, a part of it is in my custody. If you wish, Master, and if it will improve the infirmary, the last bastion of Chaldea's patience, then I'm happy to share it with this new doctor now that I've seen how sound his technique is. Here you are. Apothecary Diary 6 left from ancient China. Yeah, that's why I was recommended Don is because Season 2 is coming soon. Okay, some more lines. So, essay protocol, correctly formatted APA title page, at least one page, introduction paragraph introducing your website project, one paragraph identifying all changes made to ensure accessibility in fluid page design, one paragraph discussing accessibility tests conducted for your website, answering the following: what did you change within each HTML, what surprised you in the test results, what will you apply you've learned in future projects, write a conclusion page summarizing, include a reference page. Why do I need a reference page? Why do I need any in-text citations? Why do I need a reference page or in-text citations when this is all going to be based on my own experiences? You're a JoJo nerd. Nothing wrong with being a JoJo nerd. You dropped a game 10 minutes after playing because it was the worst thing you ever played. What game did you drop after 10 minutes out of curiosity, Viper? Seems the last head doctor had relationships with many people, much more than his profession alone would cultivate. Frankly speaking, he was well-liked and popular. In that sense, it seems like he may have embodied the concepts his nurse was advocating. He was acting not just as a doctor, but more like the oil that kept everything around him running smoothly. He didn't just treat individual patients. He treated all of Chaldea, master and servants alike, as a single organism. Oh man, the Need for Speed? I used to play the OG Need for Speed games. Man, after... I'd say Need for Speed Carbon was the last good Need for Speed game I played. But Most Wanted was definitely the best Need for Speed game ever. Need for Speed Most Wanted was the best Need for Speed game, hands down. I don't think I ever played Hot Pursuit. No, it sounds like he treated all of humanity, even if it was on the verge of being incinerated. That is quite the accomplishment. No, not yet. It's still obvious that he and I have very different stances on medicine. He all but abandoned his duty to push medicine forward. That's one thing I can't endorse. Did it work? Yes, I got what I wanted. Everything is fine. Let's see. The next servant I can think of who might use the infirmary. I don't suppose is it you, teacher? No, I'm afraid not. I actually came much later than Miss Nightingale did, so I never met the last head of infirmary either. As such, holding on to records of him is not something I would be comfortable taking responsibility for. No, I think there's someone else out there holding on to that data, someone better suited to do so than me. In fact, I suspect you may already have some idea of who they might be, Master. I wonder if it's Jack! I see you've just thought of someone, Master. Go on, lead the way. Whoever they are, I suspect they'll have the last piece of the data. Oh no. I need the original mock-ups for my website? That might not be good. I think I might have gotten rid of the original... No, they might be on Discord. Posting the original mock-ups on Discord might save my bacon here. Because I think I deleted the original mock-ups. Yes, but they are on... I'm pretty sure the original mock-ups are on Discord. Okay. I almost had a bit of a panic there. But I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. Essentially, yes. Hey, thanks for coming. You guessed it, I'm the last piece of the puzzle. Oh, it was Da Vinci. I thought it would be Jack. I may not have mentioned it before, but I've used the infirmary myself, and I also knew the last head doctor. Yeah, I know, it's almost 9 p.m. I need to lock in. And Da Vinci, you and Romani, I'm pretty sure you were pretty close. Like, there was definitely some implications there, Da Vinci. Your old self and Romani. There was definitely some implications. For a while, I was even the acting commander. Well, the previous me, anyway. Quite possibly, J6. Quite possibly. Now I see. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Now you've gone and wasted my time. See, that's the thing. I don't think it was a waste at all. This data is, well, to put it sentimentally, it's a memento of an old comrade in arms. So I didn't want to just hand it over to you as a dull and senseless data. I wanted reading it to be a struggle. And it seems my gamble paid off, since you look like you thought about it pretty seriously while you read it. The only thing I know now that I didn't know before is that the last head doctor and I are very different people. That's fine. Hell, as a starting point, it's more than enough for now. Anyway, now that you've made it this far, I won't give you any runaround any longer. Let's see these legendary medical skills of yours. Skills that staggered Hades and pissed Zeus off. My treatment methods aren't meant for spectacle, but if that's what you require, then I suppose I have no choice. I'll consider this the procedure I need to perform to cure the malady that is the incompetent infirmary and return it to perfect health. Don't think I'll go easy on you just because your body is that of a child's. If the circumstances call for it, I have no compunctions about deploying even the most painful treatments. I mean, Romani stands a VTuber that is actually Merlin, so... yeah. Might be Jane. I totally clicked on Da Vinci there. Game, I clicked on Da Vinci no matter what you say. You know, I don't really want this. I need to lock in. You guys are right. I need to lock in, so. Yeah. I'm very glad I posted those. We give up and die when he asks for advice during Babylonia. Oh, Romani. We miss you so. But who knows, you might come back eventually if my theory about Romani having been brought back as an angel under the servitude of God is true. If that theory holds fact, then we could see the return of Romani Arkman. There we go. We've locked in. Interlude! Woo! I mean, I could have used Melt. Also, that was a lot of gears. Yeah, that was impressive, alright. I didn't think you knew your way around the inner structure of a Magecraft device as well as the human body. He doesn't. I just kind of nuked you with Summer Kama. Are you satisfied now? That depends on how you react. By this point, you should be able to tell what's really necessary. Even if you collect all the old exam data, it still won't be enough on its own. Because if you want to grasp the full breadth of its information and not just see the raw data alone, you need to have a foundation in place that can make sense of it. Night, J6. Thanks for coming by. It's a lot like programming. Just because you can read numerals in English doesn't mean you'll be able to make heads or tails of code unless you know your way around an IED or an IDE. True! Before taking this course, I tried examining the source pages of many websites, and I was lost. But now I actually know something of what I'm looking at here. Yes, programming mentioned. It's relevant to me. Da Vinci mentioned programming. And reading programming about how if you don't understand it and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you there, Viper. I've held on to all my cubes, and I'm just saving them for if I ever have a single mat that I need. So that way I do not need to farm it. Sure, go ahead and post it in the Discord, J6. As long as it's HTML, because I don't understand other types of code yet. There, that's all the data I can give you. So what are you going to do now? Good question. I think... Therefore I am. I'll need to start by talking to you two. I want to know more about the last Doctor, not just as data, but as a person from the people who knew him best. Well, we need to get Mash then. Excuse me. You got it. Thanks, Asclepius. Now I can really trust you to carry on his work. Well, why don't we put on some tea? Oh, we'll have to get Mash in here too. She knew him better than anyone, even us. You stop upgrading till an event gives them to you. That's fair, J6. I kind of just... All my mat farming just comes from events, honestly. Like, that is the only... Farming materials is too tiresome at times, so... For the most part, I just try and clear the events to get as much of the mats as possible. I see. Now I understand. You really had no interest whatsoever in pushing medicine forward. Not even at the beginning. The advances you made were only ever secondary, You intentionally excluded everything from your purview, except for your own goals. Things he did, it's pretty simple, really. He put his whole heart and soul into doing things he could do, and that had to be done, and he didn't even try to do the things he couldn't and didn't have to do. And that's all there is to it. He knew the limitations of being a human being better than anyone. He knew it, that if he reached for more than he needed, he'd end up dropping everything he was holding on to. When you have a patient at the brink of death before your very eyes, and you expect their symptoms are going to grow even worse, you have no choice but to focus your energies on treating them. I mean, yeah, for some people, Bleach Earth is not an option. I will say, though, even though it is a little annoying, I am doing the Bleach Earth quests whenever I get the chance, because they are excellent bond experience. Far more, and they're less tedious to do than going back into, like, Fuyuki and farming one of the early 4 AP nodes to try and get bond XP the most efficient way possible. That is very annoying, and I am refusing to do that. I see now that those were circumstances ever since you came to Chaldea. No, for your whole life. Essentially, all of humanity was your patient. It was your job to take preventative measures through symptomatic treatment against their disease of ruin. Hey, we're in the Winter Mystic Code. Man, I do hope to be able to, like, cosplay in that soon enough. I fit in it, but I want to actually look good in it. However, there is still no end to the problems that have yet to be resolved. If we fail to advance now, we'll have to be stuck with nowhere to go. My predecessor must have known that, so why did he give up on the responsibility right from the start? The answer is simple. I see, I've been entrusted to do it for him. After talking with Soul and the others and reviewing all the data again, I realized that in one sense, it was a highly committed decision. There was quite the unshakable spirit in everything he did during his tenure. I'll let someone else push things forward. I just don't have it in me right now. I want someone who's up to the task to take it over for me. I'm sure one day someone like that will show up. After all, that's what life needs if it's going to make it to the future. What incredible optimism. No, what incredible conviction. I see, so you were absolutely certain that one day a doctor like me would find their way here. That Soul would miraculously meet someone like me and form a connection with them. I'm amazed you managed to pull that off. Even if the circumstances did leave you no choice, that's still not the kind of choice just anyone could make, let alone see through to the end. I finally feel as though I truly understand him. I used to think he was just an ordinary man, but now I see what extraordinary difficult feat he accomplished. He and I may have different methods, but he still fulfilled his duty as a doctor. Of that, I have no doubt. Can't believe your substitute. I can't be your substitute, nor would I ever want to. You and I are different people, with very different stances. I doubt I'll be able to carry out all your wishes in the way you would prefer. But that said, I do now understand that he wished to protect this place, this world, even if it meant giving up his entire present and future. So you win. I'll take up the work you left behind, though I will do so in ways I see fit. And if nothing else, I promise this infirmary and Chaldea's medical endeavor shall build upon the foundation you created. So don't worry about a thing. Rest assured, all's in good hands. Dr. Roman. Honestly, Oberon might be happy about that. Oberon might encourage such behavior. And we get some quartz. Woo! Alright. So that is going to be where I call the stream. It was a long one for just doing interludes, though I do feel like I rambled a little bit here and there. But I am going to officially call the stream here. So, I have been Soulrack Dragon. I hope you've all enjoyed today's stream. If you have, leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same games. There's plenty of content for all to enjoy. You can also check out my Discord. It should be linked down below here on YouTube. I don't know if I have it set up to be linked below on Twitch. If not, note to self, that is something else I need to do. But that's for the future me. Right now, present me, has to write an essay. Woo! Have a fantastic evening, everybody, and thank you again for coming out.